Hey there, Stampers. Happy Friday. Welcome to this week's Facebook Live. My name is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada. And every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, I go live with a crafty project. So welcome. Okay, first, normally what I start with is I start with a giveaway. I draw a name for the last week's project that I created. Now I remembered about 2 minutes before I was going live, so I have not drawn the names. So if there's still time, if you want to get entered, the way you can get entered is by commenting on the video. I will do the draw later on this afternoon and post the winners. So last week I created this fun fold card and shared this alternate. This is using the What a Year Memories and More cards, and I talked a little bit about my upcoming Scrap Your Stash class, so you can catch that on my YouTube channel, or if you're on Facebook here, you can scroll back and check that out. Like I said, I will announce the winners later on today. I apologize for that. Okay, and today we are going to play with the Your Biggest Fan bundle and the Hey Sports Fan DSP. This is a collection from the January to June mini catalog, and unfortunately it's not carrying over to the next annual catalog, so it will be available until the end of June or while supplies last, as we get closer to the end of the month. At the current moment, the stamp set is not available. However, it should be back in stock the week of May 2nd. Okay, so I wanted to let you know about that. The dies, though, the dies are really what is the highlight of this suite. I absolutely love these dies, and I thought for sure they would carry over because it would be easy enough to design another stamp set that would go with these dies, but unfortunately they are not. So anyways, this is the suite that we're going to use. Let me just share a little peek at the product. Now the name is kind of Hey Sports Fan. For some people that might turn you off. It's not necessarily sports related. There are some sports related items in here. Really, if you look at the stamp set, the only thing that is referencing a sport is this Hope Your Day is a Grand Slam, which is referencing baseball. Apart from that, everything else could be used for something else. The dies are all pretty generic. And then the paper. Okay, so we've got, this is the back side. So side B, we've got some wide stripes, we've got some narrow stripes, we've got polka dots. This is like stitching on a baseball, but it doesn't have to be. We've got stars, and then we've got a wood grain pattern. And then when you flip it over, here is where it can get specific to sports. So obviously baseball, these three patterns are baseball specific. And then there's some, you can see that I've used, this is all I have left of this. This was a great piece to cut apart. There's some dies that coordinate with some of these images that were on here. Some of them were specific, like Game 7. There was, I think, Grand Slam, Let's Play Ball. There were a few ones that were baseball specific. But a lot of times you can, if you get creative, you can cover those up. And then there is this one, which is my favorite. And then this one again, this is not necessarily sports related. So I guess this Go Team is, but apart from that, any of the other ones could be used for anything. All right. So I wanted to point that out because a lot of people, if you are not a sports fan, then you might just bypass this suite. And it really has some great products in it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Excuse me. Okay, so I've got a few things done already. Our card base is going to be a piece of crumb cake cardstock. So just a standard size, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And we're gonna fold that down the center. Okay. And then I've got another piece of crumb cake that measures 3 inches by 5.5 inches. We're going to do something to that. I've got a piece of vanilla that measures 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go on the inside. I've got a scrap piece of vanilla that we're going to do some stamping and die cutting on. I've got another piece of vanilla that I've gone ahead and I have die cut this shape right here. I love this shape. Look at that pretty decorative edge. Love it. So I've die cut that from a piece of vanilla, and then I've die cut some pieces from DSP. I've got the yellow star pattern, which is one of my favorites, and I've die cut this inside piece right here, which we're going to use again from the yellow star pattern, and then two of these little guys. I've also cut two of those little guys from some Poppy Parade cardstock, which is the red that is in this DSP. And I've got a couple strips of 1/2 inch DSP. So this is 1/2 inch by the lengths. We're going to trim them down. One is going to be 1/2 inch by 5.5, and the other one's going to be 1/2 inch by 4. And then I've got a scrap piece of this for the envelope flap. Okay, so those are all the pieces, and you'll be able to find all of these measurements in today's blog post after the video after I'm done the video. I'll head over there and finalize the blog post. Okay, so let's get started here. Let's do our stamping first. We'll slide these pieces off to the side. Okay, so we're going to bring in this vanilla piece, and we're going to bring in this stamp image, which is this one here. And we're going to stamp that using some Evening Evergreen ink. I'm just going to ink that up and then stamp it on here. Okay, and actually we're going to leave that out. Now on the bottom of this, I'm going to take the You're Amazing and I'm going to stamp it on this smaller ticket piece. And then we're going to bring in, I forgot my Poppy Parade ink. Let me just grab that. Actually, I'm going to use Real Red. Okay, and then we're going to take the Most Valuable Dad. Ink that up, and this is going to get stamped at an angle in this top portion. Okay. Now we've done the stamping that we need to do. Now we're going to bring in our little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And we're going to use the Stripes and Splatters embossing folder. We're going to use the splatter, and this 3 by 5.5 inch piece of crumb cake, we're going to emboss that. So I'm just going to stick that in between here, and I like to just put it in the center. I try not to put it right up to the top because I feel like that's going to add too much pressure to the seam of my embossing folder. So I always leave a little bit of a space there. Okay, and this is a 3D embossing folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my platform number 1 and then put my embossing folder down, and then platform number 4. Just line those up and then feed that through. Okay. And then we've got this beautiful splatter pattern. These embossing folders are in the January to June mini catalog. They are carrying over to the next annual catalog, which I was very excited to see because I love these folders. Okay, and now we need to die cut our stamped image. So I've got my platform number 1 and then one of my platform number 2s. And then I'm going to put this down and grab the coordinating die. So this is the collection that we are going to be working with next month over in my membership group. It's we're using the whole Hey Sports Fan suite, and focusing on masculine projects. So I'm going to share a peek at those projects towards the end of this video. We've got some great masculine themed kind of scrapbook layouts. We've got lots of masculine themed project or cards. All right, and then we've got our little ticket, and you can see that it perforates it right there so that you could bend it and tear it off if you wanted to. So fun. Okay, let's pop these away, get this out of the way. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of paper because we're going to do some blending. All right, I'm going to bring back this embossed crumb cake piece, and we're going to use some crumb cake ink and our blending brush. And we're just going to go around the edges. We're going to do this on here. It's very subtle because we're doing crumb cake on crumb cake. Okay, so we're going to do that, and then we're also going to do this piece. As much as I love this collection for masculine projects, if you switch up the colors and the DSP and do the same layout for the cards that I share, but with different colors, you could easily recreate these projects to be a little bit more feminine or gender neutral. Okay. So we're going to do this to all of our pieces. Well, most of our pieces, not quite all of them. Okay, and then I want to bring in the piece for the inside. I want to do that piece. I've got my table's wobbling and something's banging against it. So how is everyone doing? Let's see, who have we got watching here? Hey Kim, hey Judy, hey Kim. Welcome, happy Friday. Does anybody have any fun plans for the weekend? Okay, so I think we've got everything done that we need to do for ink blending. Now we can go ahead and, well, we're almost ready to start assembling. We want to do one other thing. Okay, so now for this piece, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to distress the edges just a little bit. Now, if you're using our paper snips, you do want to be very careful because our paper snips are really sharp. Ah, dance competition. Yes, it is that season, isn't it? I think it's supposed to be a nice weekend, which is good. It's about time. We've had some miserable weather, haven't we? Okay, so we've got that piece, and then I'm also going to take this piece, and this is going to end up going on the inside. Some of it will get trimmed down just a little bit. I'm going to do it all the way across, though. Oh, Kim is hoping to get some cards done this week, or this weekend. That's good. Well, maybe this card will inspire you. And I'm going to do one side of this piece as well. And again, I don't need to go all the way down for this one because I'm only going to cut about 5.5 inches off of this. All right, so now we'll take our adhesive and add just a little bit down the side. And we'll line this up so that we see just a little bit of that stripe peeking out. And then trim off the end. Okay, and then this piece is going to get added to our card front. so that that stripe is on the left side. Oh, and my layer is a little bit longer than my card base here. That's okay, we can fix that. Okay, so let's trim that off. If you have a guillotine paper trimmer, those are perfect for these little slivers of paper that need to be trimmed. Okay, and now because we trimmed off that frayed edge, we're just going to take our paper snips and just fray this edge again. Okay, and I'm going to take my fingers and just kind of work this up a bit more just to give it a bit more dimension. Okay, all right, we'll set that piece aside for now. Okay, next up we've got this piece. This is going to go on just flat, so I'll use just my multi-purpose glue, and it's going to overhang the edge of our embossed piece, just like that. Now this piece, we're going to take it, and I know some of you will cringe when you see this. We're going to take it and we're going to crinkle it. I do want to be careful because I don't want to tear that ticket part off. Okay, and then we're going to add some adhesive to the back, and I'm going to be a little bit more generous than what I normally am. And this is going to go at an angle like that. Okay, and then we're going to bring in this piece, and this piece is going to get some dimensionals. We're going to pop this piece up. Oh, we have to do something to this piece. Oh, I'm glad I remembered. Okay, before we stick that on, we're going to take some of the fan sports twine. So this is the evening evergreen twine that is in that pack, and we're going to take this and we're going to wrap it around twice and then tie a bow. And I want my bow to be kind of over on the right hand side when we're looking at it the right way up. So I'm going to tie it on the left, because when I tie, my ends always end up going down or up, I guess I should say. So I tie my projects upside down so that when I flip them around, my ends are going the right direction. Okay, so now we've got that. We can peel off the dimensional backing. And we're going to add this on here. This piece is going to go straight so that we just see a little bit of that yellow patterned paper peeking out from in behind. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in one of our star-shaped flag or star patterned flags, one of our Poppy Parade flags. We're going to use our bone folder and just give these a bit of dimension. So I'm going to take my bone folder and kind of curl it like this, but then curl the end up so that it looks like a flag kind of blowing in the wind. Okay, and then we're going to use just a little bit of seal. I'm going to put this on the back here, and I'm going to attach the two so that you see a little bit of the red peeking out from underneath. Okay, and then what we want to do is we are going to take a couple glue dots and we're going to put them on here, right on the edge. Just like that. And I've got a toothpick. And what I'm going to do is, it's just a tad bit long. So I'm going to trim, I don't know, maybe ½ an inch off one end. And I am just using my really old rubber scissors. Remember when we had to trim the rubber on our stamps? Does anybody remember that? I kept these and I use them for things like this so that I don't ruin my regular crafting scissors. And then this is going to get stuck right to our mini glue dots. And then we'll add a little bit of adhesive right here and another mini glue dot to this part of our toothpick to hold it in place. And then this is going to slide right under here. I want to lift up my bow. I don't want my bow covered, and I want to make sure I'm not covering any of my words. So that's going to slide right under there like that. Isn't that cute? I love the addition of the toothpick. So cute. All right, now to finish off the front of our card, we're going to take the resin stars. You can see I've used lots of them. I don't have very many left. And we'll take an evening evergreen star, add it down here, and another little one up here, and then we'll take a red and add it on there. And look how cute that is. All right, so the outside of our card is done. Now let's bring in the inside, and remember this piece that we had done with the distressed edge along here. We're going to add that to the top. With the distressed edge down. So I'll add that lined up right at the top. Trim off the excess. So you can see that this is not sports themed at all. Okay, and then these last two little flags that I had cut, we're going to do the same thing that we did in the front of our card. So I'll curl them and then add a little bit of adhesive, stick them together, flip them over, add a couple mini glue dots, so this, I kept it blank on the inside, but this you could add happy birthday. There is a birthday greeting in this set. You could add happy birthday, you could add thank you, you could make it a Father's Day. There is a Father's Day greeting in this set as well. Okay, again, I'll trim off about half an inch, add my toothpick. And then for this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a mini glue dot, add that there, and I'm going to use another one and add it to this bit here. And then we're going to add this right up here, just like that. And you can see that it's still got that curved because of the height of the toothpick, and then us using a mini glue dot there, we've still got that curved movement on the flag. And then this will go on the inside of our card, and I strategically added it in that area of the card so it's opposite the bulk that's on the front of the card. There we go. Isn't it cute? So that the bulk, it kind of balances out. If I had added the flag over here, it would have doubled up on the bulk. So that just kind of evens it out. Super cute card. Okay, now let's do our envelope flap. So I've just got, like I said, a scrap piece of this same red and white or red and vanilla DSP. I'm going to use some multi-purpose glue. Put it around the edges, and then a little bit in the middle. And then I like to line up the straight edge with the straight edge on the envelope flap, because then I only need to cut two sides and just a little bit down the third side. All right, and we'll just trim around this, and then we've got a matching envelope. And then would you guys like to see what we'll be creating over in my membership group next month? So my membership group is called the Treasure Chest. And each month we choose a collection of products to work with. You do not need to use the exact same products that I'm using. You can take inspiration and use what you have on hand for sure. There we go. Look how cute that is. And there's our card. So next month I am going to be using for all of the projects. So every week you get an email and there's 2 projects, a scrapbook layout and a card. You get the measurements, you get a video, and you get photos of them. And then every week you get different projects. So you get 8 projects if there's 4 Thursdays in a month. If there's 5, you get 10 projects. And then at the end of the month, if you were a member for that month, I send out a PDF with links to all of the videos. I also do 2 exclusive Facebook Lives for them as well. So that brings it up to 10 to 12 projects per month using one collection. So it allows you to really use the products and create some fun projects. So let me give you a quick peek at some of the projects here. So we've got that. I'm going to do it fast. We've got that one. We've got that one. This one is my favorite scrapbook layout. And then we've got some cards as well. All right, so if you'd like to join us next month, just shoot me an email, let me know, and I will make sure that you're set up to receive those weekly emails beginning the first Thursday in, what month will we be in? May. All right, so thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's project. And that you'll take a closer look at this Hey Sports Fan Suite. It's such a fun collection to work with, especially those dies. All right, have a fabulous weekend. Take care. We'll see you next week.